Hi Justin, and you're going to show us how to make a simple halving joint, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, let's go.
Good afternoon everybody. So this is the joint we're going to make today. One thing that a carpentry joiner needs to do is work on the basics, and from the basics...
Can you point it out, which one we're doing?
It's this one here.
Oh, at the top. No, sort
and
of
from the basics,
thing, yeah.
you can do many things. So just a basic halving. Now the first thing we need to do before we do this is obviously read the drawing, so I understand the drawing, otherwise you can't do anything. Second thing is select a decent piece of timber. So I've got a nice piece of timber here. From that we need to put what's called a face mark. So we're going to put a face side, which comes across like so, and a face edge, and this is used to mark and measure from, so we use that mark quite often. Now from this I'm going to put a 10mm line on using my tri-square or set square. Now this edge must meet the edge or the face side face edge, very important. And the reason for that is if you go all the way round, so if I start now, if I keep going, that one's okay, I'm on the face edge, and I'm on the face side. If I keep going around that way, they might not meet up because the timber could be slightly off. So I'm going to come back around. The temptation is to go all the way around, come back onto my face, so that's stuck to this. And what I generally say is if you say the face side face edges are magnetic and this is metal, they only stick to those. And then I go again off the face edge and make sure all my lines meet up, and they do, and how press them. So I've now got my edge. Now if I look at the first joint, I've got a face side face edge. I can see the underside of the joint needs to come out, so I put a little squiggle there so I know that's going to come off. My joint size is 45mm, I'm going to check that, 45, and I'm going to measure 45mm across there, simply straight across, and then going off my face again, I'm going to square across. Now I'm not one of the carpenters who likes to overmark, so I like to take my time and mark only what you need. So I'm going to roughly mark halfway down, and there it is that side. I'm going to do exactly the same with this side, and then reverse you there. And there we are. So now all I need to use is my marking gauge, and I'm simply going to score a line across. So I want halfway of my timber. So my timber thickness is 30mm, so I'll mark a light line of 15 as a gauge. I'm now going to set my gauge to that centre line, so I'm going right to that point. But I'm not going to be silly enough to say that's it. So what I'm going to do is come back to my waistline and put a little pinhole in and push down. Then I'm going to turn that around, and hopefully I'll see one mark. And if you have a look closely, I'll actually put this in pencil. I've got one mark there and one mark there. That proves I'm not dead centre. So I now need to go in between those lines to make sure I'm perfectly in the middle. So take your time to set your marking gauge up first to make sure it's absolutely perfect. Come around again, this time I'm within. So I'm happy with that. So give it a good tighten. Now go back off that face edge. Remember that's to mark and measure from. And if you want to make it really easy, if you've got a luxury device, which we have got, you can put two fingers on the top and the front, and then you can score a nice light line across here and across the top. It's a bit hard on the grain at the top, but across the grain and then straight down to the point. What I'd also like to do is, so I can see clearly, if I've got old eyes, is simply put in a mark that I'm going to go to in pencil so I can actually see after. So that's what you call a marked halving. Now the way I was taught to cut this is to cut corner to corner one way. So I was taught to cut in the vise this way, corner to corner, and then cut again corner to corner that way and straight down. My issue is that that's three potential saw cuts. So what I do is I cut it corner to corner to start with, and then I go straight down as you're just about to see. So with your tenon saw, stick your finger out, that keeps it nice and square, and literally go straight down the corner to corner, following the line from the front and the back. Try using an oil saw when you're doing this. Now if you're using tight grain timber, you might want to do corner to corner both sides because it can split out. This timber's not too bad in European redwood. So I'm now going to go back in corner to corner. So I'm still my first cut, and I'm going to start bringing the back of the saw down. And this is called cutting down your cheek. Then look at your line carefully. And then you can adjust that if you have to. Looks like I'm down to the line, and I've cut down my cheek. All I now need to do is to cut my shoulder line off. I'll put it in the vise. And again, I'm going to cut diagonally, finger out again, cut very carefully down the line. And that should be